These nuts are one of the surprising products getting hit by the Iran war. Iran is the world's second largest producer of pistachios. But the war is causing a shortage by disrupting trade routes and choking shipments. It's sending pistachio prices to their highest level in nearly 8 years. That could mean more business for US farmers. California is already the world's top pistachio producer. But growers there have been battling extreme drought and tighter water restrictions. Now, experts say that pistachios could get so expensive, trendy recipes like Dubai chocolate may have to change, or disappear altogether. And it's already hard for Iranian restaurants in the US to get pistachios from their homeland because of sanctions.
Right now, people don't even use pistachio for their typical traditions, let alone to use it abundantly on a pastry. It would be exuberant.
So what happens when one of the world's hottest ingredients becomes one of the hardest to get? Pistachios aren't native to California. Their origins can be traced back to Central Asia and the Middle East, where people have eaten them for millennia. The region has a climate similar to California's, with mostly dry summers. These plants have always been picky, so big harvests were hard to cultivate, even in their native land. Pistachios were regarded as a luxury, mentioned in the Bible as one of the choice fruits of the land. Around 330 BC, Alexander the Great conquered the Persian Empire and brought the nut to the Mediterranean. Pistachio farms began popping up in Italy and Spain, and by the 1800s in France. A seed distributor named Charles Mason brought the first pistachio nuts to California in 1854. In the years that followed, many tried to cultivate trees here, but they didn't take well to California soil and barely produced nuts. However, the US Department of Agriculture liked that pistachio trees could survive droughts. So in 1929, it sent its botanist to Iran to find more productive seeds. He brought back thousands, and eventually one thrived. He named it Gedman after the Persian province it came from. Over the next century, an entire industry grew in California from that single Iranian seed. Back then, Iran still dominated the industry, exporting 20 million pounds of pistachios a year to the US. But things started to change after 1979.
Several hundred Iranian students seized and occupied the American embassy in Tehran.
They held 52 American workers and diplomats hostage in what's known as the Iranian hostage crisis. In response, the US restricted imports on Iranian pistachios. That opened up a market for California growers.
A lot of like-minded farmers invested their time and energy and resources into building an industry.
In 1980, the state grew 27 million pounds of the nut. But a year later, Iran released the American hostages, and the US lifted its embargo on the country's pistachios. Iran started shipping nuts to the US again. Keenan Farms and a few other growers petitioned the government to launch an investigation into Iranian imports. The US International Trade Commission found Iran was selling pistachios for less than they were really worth, even cheaper than it cost to grow them. Despite years of sanctions, Iran has remained one of the world's top pistachio suppliers. But when the US attacked the country in February of this year, it threw Iran's pistachio exports into chaos. By March, shipping lines were canceling deliveries, triggering a global shortage. Pistachio prices have already jumped about 50%, hitting their highest level since 2018. This could open the door for the world's biggest producer to gain ground. Right now, the US supplies more than 60% of the world's pistachios, and until 2025, China was largely the top buyer. But they've imposed tariffs on American nuts, making them more expensive. As a result, imports dropped by over 50% in the last year. That opened a door for Iran to take some of the Chinese market from the US. Over the years, even as California became the top producer, Iran remained a big player, supplying about 16% of the world's pistachios in 2025, mostly to China, Turkey, India, and the UAE. Only a tiny share of Iran's pistachios ever make it to the US. But sanctions have made Iranian pistachios hard to find in America, and much more expensive. Prices have soared in Iran too, as tensions escalated with Israel in 2025, disrupting supply chains.